WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
Neighbors of the Emu Owner that got loose and killed in the capital city say he's been causing issues for years. It's our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Jorma Duran. It's a story 6 News broke. An emu running loose in a Lansing neighborhood that ended up dying shortly after officers were able to capture it.
Today, 6 News learned from court records and from neighbors that this is nowhere near the first time the owner's animals have gotten loose.
And those same neighbors say a bigger concern is that city officials don't seem to be doing enough to stop him. Rachel Ramsey joins us now live from the studio. She's here for you now with those details. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening. Ingham County Animal Control says the man responsible for the emu is Joel Christie. Today, neighbors told me that over the years they've seen loose goats, chickens, dogs wandering into their yards. They also said at one point Christie had a hog in his backyard and they want something done about it. An emu on the loose ran up and down Rio Road on Thursday, almost taking out 6 News photographer Blake Wilson in the process. Its death soon followed as officers tried to contain it.
You wouldn't imagine something like that roaming the neighborhood.
Randy Bunting also had an encounter with the emu before the tragic ending.
Come right up to me. You know, I didn't know what kind of animal it was, giant flamingo or anything, so I was kind of skeptical, and I think everybody was.
Dan Verhoog with Ingham County Animal Control spoke with me on the phone and says the office has an extensive history with the owner, Joel Christie, going back 12 years.
Joel apparently admitted to having, or at one point had, a bull in his backyard. He's had some goats back there before.
Records show that Christie has been charged 21 times in district court involving loose animals, but other than the 2 times he pleaded guilty, everything was dropped. Though prosecutors say a plea and deferred sentencing in 2022 resolved multiple cases that make it look like numerous cases were dropped. Another neighbor I spoke with who did not want to go on camera says they have been complaining about Christie and his animals for 15 years and blames the prosecutor's office for not holding him accountable.
We've had over 50 calls on him since 2013.
On top of all of this, city ordinance says emus cannot be kept as pets in Lansing. Animal Control says it's working with Lansing code enforcement to possibly request charges from the prosecutor's office again, adding that the fact that the animal died will factor into this decision.
Joel has been such a chronic problem for us as an agency in the hundreds of hours that we've put into this particular citizen. We will be working with code compliance to see if we can come up with a permanent solution to these issues.
I knocked on Joel Christie's door today and reached out to him on Facebook, but have not gotten a response. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Rachel. A 60-year-old Ingham County man has now been arrested for the 9th time for driving while intoxicated.
It happened on Thursday evening in the 4400 block of Holt Road. Witnesses reported that the vehicle drove onto the sidewalk and into oncoming traffic.
Deputies say they tried to stop the car near Edgar and Howell, but the driver took off. They then found the vehicle a second time in the 200 block of North Aurelius Road. 6
News has learned the investigation will be turned over to the prosecutor's office for review and possible additional felony charges of fleeing and eluding and resisting arrest.
Here in Lansing, former musician and outdoor enthusiast Ted Nugent brought a gun into the Capitol on Wednesday, which has been a weapons-free zone since 2023.
Officials say he was screened at the north entrance of the Capitol and the weapons detection system alerted workers of a possible weapon. However, the trooper staffing the entry point did not see the alert until after Nugent left the screening area.
After he finished his testimony, MSP personnel contacted Mr. Nugent and notified him of the weapons policy, and he did comply. State police say they're still evaluating how the weapons detection alert was missed and will be following up to ensure this does not happen again.
Well, the state has given the go-ahead for 3 groups to start collecting signatures for proposed ballot initiatives this fall.
The State Board of Canvassers approved the language for the proposals today that deal with voting in Michigan, funding for schools, and the state's minimum wage.
Delaney Rogers is here for you tonight with more on the proposals and why organizers want them on the ballot. Delaney?
Jorma, Siobhan, the Board of Canvassers approved the wording for 3 amendment summaries today: ranked choice voting, investing in Michigan kids, and pausing the minimum wage increase. The Invest in Michigan Kids Amendment would petition to add a 5% tax on the most wealthy Michiganders, single people making $500,000 or more, or couples who make $1 million, and give public schools that money. Organizers say that this would help support students and teachers and families.
An incredible support from families and educators and community members, from folks from the UP to Grand Rapids to Detroit, mostly concerned about ballooning class size and getting it smaller, not having enough career and tech education in the state, and attracting and retaining teachers. We've heard a lot from especially our educators who are leaving the state or leaving their school districts because of the conditions and funding.
The board also approved language for a request to pause the minimum wage increase for tipped workers. The proposal would repeal Public Act of 2025, which increased the minimum wage for other workers to $15 an hour.
We talk to restaurant workers, tipped workers all the time, and we've seen great support for this, especially with it being a livable wage with the tips on top. That means that we're not getting rid of tips, but also people are going to be able to make enough money that they don't only have to rely on those tips, and they don't see those big fluctuation with, the different seasons and when people are able to spend money.
The canvassers also approved language that would change Michigan elections to use ranked choice voting instead of just picking one candidate per race. Again, the board only approved of wording these proposals today. Organizers will now gather thousands of signatures to add them to the November 2026 ballot. Back to you.
Delaney, thank you. Leaders with the Women's Center of Greater Lansing are asking Michiganders for support.
The organization provides support services to area women, but a misunderstanding on a recent attempt to reach out for financial help made it seem like employees were about to get furloughed and not paid for their work.
Taryn Simmons spoke with leaders of the organization today. She's here for you now with the facts.
Organizers say the Women's Center has been struggling financially for about a few months.
Conversations of like.
And Executive Director Rebecca Kaysen says a now deleted Facebook post made things a bit worse.
I had asked one of our employees to make a Facebook post for an appeal so we could prevent furloughs.
But the post was supposed to inform people that the organization is facing financial hardships, not that the employees were not getting a paycheck.
Just our grant funding alone from the city of Lansing was cut by 50%. Grants that were shoo-ins in the past, non-government grants, are much more competitive than ever before.
Kaysen says she also fears for their insurance reimbursements due to federal policy changes.
And now we're having to worry about what's in this big, beautiful bill and how that's going to impact, as 80% of our health insurance reimbursements are Medicaid. Medicaid reimbursement is already the lowest payer, right? It's already very, very low. And now if we lose that, it's really going to impact the center.
She says if reimbursements are not paid in a timely manner, the entire center could be at stake.
Not all of our people can go to some of the other organizations. We deal with a lot of human trafficking victims. They will not necessarily have a place to go if we had to cut those supports.
Kaysen also adds that donations are also down as well and is in need of volunteers and financial assistance to keep the center running.
Here for you in Lansing, Taryn Simmons, 6 News.
Well, a line of storms is moving through mid-Michigan and leaving some damage behind. We're getting reports of trees and power lines down, making for some tricky driving.
In DeWitt, North Scott Street, just west of Madison, has one lane blocked, and we're hearing reports of other storm damage as well.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Our storms today certainly packed quite a punch with some strong winds and some extremely heavy rainfall. Been monitoring a lot of pics coming in to 6 News, and they are, thanks to everyone who sent those in, they are fantastic. This is from our Sullivan and Grand Ledge. I recognize the building. If I'm not mistaken, this is on the south side off of Hartel, but this is that shelf cloud moving in. Winds in Grand Ledge appear to be around 35 to 45 miles per hour, but those winds increased as the storms moved east, some 45 to 55 miles per hour, producing damage like this from Robert at Lake of the Hills Golf Course in Hazlet. Large tree down there, looks like a healthy tree as well. So winds no doubt were exceeding 50 miles per hour with some of those larger trees coming down. Doppler radar, the severe activity is now to our east. We've got a few more showers and storms out there, but far from severe. So we'll watch these produce a little heavy rainfall as they make their way through southeastern sections of mid-Michigan, but the overall threat for severe weather is certainly a lot lower, and even in just a few light rain showers now moving into eastern Ionia County, heading into Clinton County, but nothing all that strong. We really don't expect those to get a lot stronger over the next couple of hours. Peak winds from our storms today, one of the highest numbers was Lansing at 52 miles per hour. Jackson saw 33, 39 in Grand Ledge, 28 miles per hour hour in Hillsdale. Rainfall totals, it wasn't here that long, the heavy rain, but when it came down, it was fast and furious. Over ½ an inch for Lansing and Grand Ledge. Jackson with 3/400, Hillsdale almost ½ an inch, and St. John's with 1/1800 of an inch of rain. Precision cast for tonight. Here go the showers and storms out of here by 8 o'clock. As we head towards tomorrow morning, quiet, just a few clouds around, becoming sunny though very quickly tomorrow. And it looks like a really nice day on tap with temperatures in the mid-80s, slightly lower humidity out there as well. As we move into Sunday morning, quiet weather should remain quiet through the afternoon. Models want to kick up a shower or two, but I just think it's going to be hot and partly cloudy skies. Highs on Sunday should top out close to 90 degrees. Temperatures currently in the mid-70s, so it's rain cooled and we've lost a lot of the instability for storms. That's why the severe threat is much lower. 75 on the McLaren Cam, high was 90, wind gust on the McLaren Cam at 42 miles per hour. In Grand Ledge, rainfall also really impressive, over ½ an inch, made it almost to 90 today. Current temperature much cooler though at 73 degrees. This evening in Jackson, still got some sunshine out there. Temperatures back up to 75. High was 89, wind gust only 33, not all that bad. Meanwhile, in Hillsdale, we're back into full sunshine with the temperature 76 degrees, and with that almost ½ an inch of rain, you can bet that is a very muggy 76 degrees. Tonight's forecast, low temperature 64 with skies becoming partly cloudy. Then for Saturday, temps in the 70s at noon, 80s by 5 o'clock. Wind should be light with a little lower humidity. I'm going to call that a win for at least the first half of the weekend. Sunday, it's going to be hot, highs near 90. Mid-80s Monday as another cold front comes through. That'll drop us back into the lower 80s with much lower humidity the middle of next week. In fact, the lows Thursday morning still appear to be in the upper 50s. We've got some showers and storms next Friday, which leaves us with nice weather for next weekend too.
Good.
I like nice weather.
Because there's lots of events going on over the weekend.
I mean, this is outdoor time, especially on weekends, so we'd like to give you some good news for that.
We love that. All right, well, still to come tonight, we'll tell you where you can go for some weekend summer fun. Speaking of.
Yeah, stay with us. 6 News at 6. We'll be right back.